Hey gang. Bug and I say hello. I'm doing an episode today because I've been wanting to do this episode for you, and I actually haven't made this stuff in a while. I'm completely out. You can see all my empty bottles. I'll show you. Take a look. My empty bottles that I'm about to fill up today. And I wanted to share this with you because I think everybody needs to know about hypochlorous acid. The name is freaky, I know. But hypochlorous acid is what our cells in our bodies make as a first line of defense and when any infection or anything happens. And the two ingredients are, I should pull out my, the two ingredients are filtered water and sea salt. That's all we're using for this concoction. And I will put some links in the description where there's a letter to the World Health Organization asking to make hypochlorous acid an essential medicine. This was at the time of the C word of 2020, and it was used all over the place, but not really promoted because when it's manufactured, it doesn't have a super long shelf life. Its shelf life, I think, is 6 to 8 months once it's made. But I make it here and I use this machine. My setup is a little bit crazy. It's extreme. I'll tell you why after. Well, I'll tell you why. Well, I'll tell you why while we're brewing up a batch. But I have 3 machines. You definitely don't need 3. I'm a little bit obsessive. So I have 3. And then there was the fire, so I bought one when we were evacuated. That's Bug trying to get out. So the hypochlorous acid is basically water and salt. And our cells use the water in our body and the salt in our body and the electrical currents in our body, which is how this is made, it's electrolyzed, to make it as a first line of defense. It is the most toxic thing to bacteria, to viruses, to fungus, to prions. There was one more thing that my brain is not remembering right now. Anyways, it's super toxic to those pathogens, and it is safe on the most sensitive skin. So it's great for kids that have acne problems. I have a ton of anecdotal stories from friends that I have hooked up to or told about these machines, and they have bought them and they have changed things drastically. My sister-in-law goes up north. She's a OT, pediatric OT, so she goes up north and she doesn't travel without it. When I'm on an airplane, I have a little bottle like this, and every single pocket I can stuff one into. If somebody around you is hacking or coughing, I spray it up my nose. It's apparently super. There's studies. I'll put a bunch of links in the description for this, just so you can go and see the science behind this. I'm not a scientist, so I can't talk about the science, but I have definitely read it all, and it's fascinating. Thing is, nobody can make money off of this, so you don't see a lot about it. But since I've gotten this, and I'm looking forward to the day I don't have to tell you about this cold I had a week ago that is holding on with its yuckiness. The cold is gone, but I'm snotty and coughy and gross. But I clearly ran out of my stuff. And before this, I haven't had a flu like this for years and years. Even COVID, when I got it, even though I'm immune suppressed, and even though I didn't get the Lasted 5 days max, like 3 days of yucky and 2 extra days. So, but I use this stuff. Spray the house with it, spray the handles. You can use it for cleaning. You can use it in your laundry to disinfect your clothes. You can use it as in your first aid kit. So much you can do with this, and it is so easy to make. And here, like I said, are the 2 ingredients. I filter my water. I use sea salt. It can't have iodine in it, so I use just plain old sea salt. So 1 liter of water and 2 scoops of this, which is 2 grams of salt, and you put it in the machine and you run it for 8 minutes, and that gives you 100 parts per million of free available chlorine. It's a pH of 7, so it's neutral. There's no acid. They suggest to put in, if you like, a teaspoon of vinegar in it, but I don't, because I also use it on my toothbrush to brush my teeth, and I don't want the acidity on my teeth. So my solution is pH of 7. So whatever the water is, that's the pH of my solution. And it doesn't give me any problems with my teeth when I brush them. Oh, and when you brush your teeth, when you put some on your toothbrush and you brush your teeth, it literally feels like you came out of the dentist's office. So it gets, yeah, I've brushed my teeth with this before going for a cleaning, and I've asked them, and they're like, there's nothing, no plaque, no bad, yeah. So I'm worried about talking about this just because I don't want to make any claims. This is all personal experience. The actual scientific data, I'll put links to it. You can do your own research. I will also put a link on these machines. They have gone up in price, and I'm not surprised. Actually, that's why I bought my second one, because I thought if people start to figure this out, the prices of the machines are going to go up. So, and the third one I bought during the fire. So I have 3 now, and totally worth it. It has paid for itself 1,000 times over. Like, unbelievable investment. So I'll put a link to it. I just became an Amazon affiliate. So if you use my link, I'll make a couple bucks off of it. I don't even know how much. It won't charge you any more than what you would normally buy it from Amazon. If you don't want to buy it from my link, just look it up yourself and buy it that way. There's a bunch of cheaper stuff on there for hypochlorous acid making. I have not used it. I'll put links to that as well, but I have not used it, so I can't speak for that. Whereas for this, I can totally talk about, because my first one that I got was actually like it wasn't working properly. It was switching on and off, and the company was amazing. They sent me a replacement, and they were awesome. And I have no problem whatsoever promoting this company and telling you they're solid. So I'll give you a link to this stuff. I'll show you how it's made. I won't take the whole thing because I want to fill up all those bottles over there. And but you'll get to see how I make. I run each batch through twice, so that I get 200 parts per million. The 200 parts per million is the max. But the thing is, with the 200 parts per million, you can afterwards dilute it just by adding filtered water or distilled water. And if you have a container of 200 parts per million and you put an equal amount of water, plain water, it'll end up being 100 parts per million. So you can dilute it that way. And I'll show you how it's made. So I have my water. You put in a liter. You got the liter marker right there. So I have myself a little factory. It's a system. Two liters. And because I get quite distracted, where is the salt? I get quite distracted. I end up having to give myself little hints as to whether I'm on phase 1 or phase 2. So I'll use little pebbles here. So 2 grams of salt, sea salt, per container. 1, 2. 1, 2. Throw this into the last one. It's not gonna be enough. It is. Oh, so close. While this is getting itself ready, I'll put these guys on. I'll throw my 2 grams in here. 1, 2. So now I'm gonna have 3 liters going, and in 16 minutes, so it's 8 minutes per round. So you plug it in, just gonna show you. Here's the on button, and you got 3 lights, and they give you 3 different strengths. So generating electrolyzed water for cleaning and sanitation, generates hypochlorous acid with a ORP between setting 3. So add tap water, purified water. I use I use filtered. In our town it's super calciumy, and I don't want to mess with sides. 2 grams of salt, 1 teaspoon of distilled white vinegar. Optional, but recommended to optimize pH. So I'm okay with a pH of 7 rather than a pH of 6.5 or 6. Replace lid, connect power supply, power on to generate hypochlorous acid. So 3, you need to have your 3 on. 1, 2, 3. And now in 8 minutes, I will have, I'm just gonna throw pebble in each one. I'm gonna finish this one up, cough it up. There we go. 3. So that's it. This is how you make your hypochlorous acid. And then I have bottles that I put, old juice bottles and stuff, that I'll put one in the laundry room. I'll have some for cleaning. They're great for washing windows. Woo! Ninja. And I got spray bottles, which I used to spray my hands, spray the room. Brian's got my cold now, so I'm like walking behind them. And that's it, hypochlorous acid. Like I said, I'll give you the links. I will not bore you with the rest of making this. I'll do my little gig here and fill all these bottles up. And then I'll be good for probably a month or 2 with all of this. And then I'll make some more. And the thing is, we use it so much in this house that it never goes to its 6 to 8 months of shelf life. It gets used pretty quickly around here. Go to restaurants, have one of these in your pocket. It's awesome. It actually becomes a little bit addictive, and I have lost my addiction in the last month or so. I think just because I kind of ran out and I just didn't get around to making some. So thank you for giving me a reason to make this, and now I'll have some, and it explains why I've been sick, and I won't be sick anymore after this. So yeah, when I spray it up my nose, it's actually really good, because what it does is it kills any, apparently your nose is where it all kind of sets up camp. So I spray it up. It stops me from transmitting anything that I have, so it's like way better than a mask. And it stops me from transmitting, it stops me from receiving anything new, and it kills anything in there that's trying to set up camp. And you know something's afoot if you spray it and it stings. When you got something that's trying to set up camp in there, it stings when you spray up your nose. Otherwise, you don't feel it. And I know this is where I turned off some people by telling them I sprayed up my nose, but I don't care. Like, I know how well it works for me, and if something like that's going to turn you off, then that's on you, not on me. I have shared the information, and I got to tell you that since I discovered this, it's a long story, but I won't share that with you because it's probably boring for you. But I have this crazy new relationship with water. Like, I have gained such an appreciation, and I don't even know what the word is for water. I just, I know we're bags of mostly water, and I know that Japanese scientist who did the water crystals. I get all that, and it's been part of my knowledge, part of my understanding for a very long time. But this really tipped me over the edge of the power of water, and I find it, I don't know, when I'm transferring it from these containers into a bottle, there's just this, I can't even describe it, but just the water looks like it's got a viscosity to it, but it doesn't. It just, yeah, this is where I sound a little crazy. I'm okay with that too. But try it out. Like I said, I'll give you some links. It's an amazing thing. It has been studied a lot. The capacity to make it was not available to us mere mortals until just recently. And these machines have given us that ability. And you seriously go through the drugstore and you can see why nobody promotes it. I actually tried selling it at a local fair a few years back, closer to the crazy times when I think everybody needed to know about it. And our local health inspector stopped me from selling it because she kept insisting and trying to convince me that it's diluted bleach, which it is not. As you just saw, it's filtered water and salt. And yeah, it was the weirdest interaction I have had with a learned person ever. And yeah, water and salt. So check it out. I hope that it changes things for you the way it has changed things for me. Everybody that I have told about it, that has bought the machine, has told me that in some capacity or other, it has changed things for the better for them dramatically. From a friend of mine whose son had terrible acne. In fact, he was too shy to go out because of his acne, and they got a machine and they got rid of all of it. New person, new attitude, new sense of confidence. To a friend whose parents went into a hot tub at a hotel, and both of them got a rash from top to bottom because there was something in the hot tub, and they happened to have a bottle of this stuff because I had told our friends, and she bought the machine, and she had given them a bottle, got rid of it within an hour. So it is pretty, like, if snake oil was real, this is like all the things that they talked about snake oil doing, this does. And it's not snake oil. It is totally for real. And I share this with you. I know this is my stirred orbit setup in the kitchen, but this is between Vital Orbit, which is the health stuff, and my kitchen stuff, because here we are cooking up a batch. It doesn't get hot, it stays cold, just so you know. It's really cool. Like, look at how beautiful it is when you're making it. And yeah, it is really kind of life-changing. So I hope that this does for you what it did for me. And happy to be able to share this information with you, and who knows where it takes you. We found it really weirdly in a farmer's market with a girl who was, once she saw that we're interested, she started whispering us and telling us all about it, and I totally get it now, because she also wasn't allowed to sell it. It does this when it's done, it's 8 minutes. She also wasn't allowed to sell it, but she had a binder of all of the science and data behind it, and she shared that with us. And we bought 2 bottles, and I seriously haven't looked back since. We bought 2 500 ml bottles, and it changed everything. For an immune suppressed person in the middle of COVID, it was an absolute godsend, because people were all around me sick all the time, and I was like, I had this shield of steel around me. So I'm just gonna put this on. Okay, number 2, number 3, and now I'm gonna put 2 pills, because I'm really slow when it comes to keeping count with things. And that's it. Once it's done, I transfer it to my bottles, make another batch. So thanks for your time. Thanks for coming into my kitchen again. Vitally stirred orbit today. And I'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed this one. And check out the links. Seriously. Don't take my word for it. Take real scientists' word for it. I'll inundate you with links so that you can check it out yourself and see it from reputable sources. All right, peace out, y'all. I hope you enjoy. Take care. I forgot to say one very, very important thing. The very important thing: don't ingest this. This is for external use only. You can brush your teeth with it, but you spit it out. You can spray it up your nose, but that's just spray. Just don't ingest it. Why? Because it kills all bacteria. It has no preference for which bacteria it kills. And your gut is full of good bacteria. So what you don't want is to hurt your gut. So the most important thing of all, don't ingest. That's it. Now go have fun with your hypochlorous acid. Bye. Thanks again. Talk to you next time.